today also, I did not take video of a lot of things. I mean, there were a lot of stalking vehicles, you know, I mean, there were other ads and things that were offensive, some people who abused me, that kind of thing. I just don't have time. I just don't even have time to, like, document everything that happens, ever. I never do. Anyway, I wanted to mention something that happened, kind of like right before I got to Broadway Station and left Broadway Station to go to the Pine Street Inn. There were this group of, like, teenage boys, were, like, I don't know, maybe it was like a couple groups of them, of teenagers who got on the train, and they, so, like, were in the section that I was in, that I was already sitting in, and then one of them started talking to the other, there were a few, and one of them started talking to another one, saying that someone had asked him, you know, what would you do if you turned around and everyone in the room was naked? And this kid who was sitting next to me, I guess I would say he's either, he could be 14 or 15 if he were like a small 14 or 15, but he might also be something like 12 or 13. I didn't really know. He says, I don't even know if he was even with that same group of teenagers. He says, oh, I would masturbate. And he's like sitting right next to me, and I was like, I was not obviously paying attention to the conversation. It was kind of a conversation you couldn't avoid because it was happening, like, right there. And I thought about, the first thought I had was, just a room full of people out of nowhere naked is not really, I mean, it's just like, you're not, there really is no guarantee that you would find that to be an erotic experience at all. But I didn't say that because I felt like it was not an appropriate thing for me to say to probably anyone, right? I mean, even an adult, it would be like allowing that person to begin some kind of sexual conversation with me, right? And here it is, just some kid. He's like, you know, somewhere between 12 and 15. I wouldn't really know. And then the other two keep talking about it, and actually the teenager who was talking about it had kind of, without my saying anything, he kind of got to the same conclusion. He was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then me and, let's see, wait, the kid who was sitting next to me and then another adolescent boy were getting out at Broadway Station. I was also getting out at Broadway Station, and they were in front of me in line, and the same kid, the small one, said, like, as if he were saying it to the guy that he was, his friend that he was with, he said, "You shower naked, don't you, you slut?" And I don't know, I mean, I can't really know if he was, I mean, I know he was, like, kidding around to somebody about somebody. Like, I don't know if they knew it was me, or if they just thought it might be me, you know, who was sitting there in the train when they got on the train, or if I'm just, you know, the story has just gotten out so much that he was just, like, kidding around with his friend. But what I was thinking was, all right, you know, all the people who think that all this stuff is happening is no big deal. You know, first of all, it's an invasion of my civil rights, without a doubt. Second of all, it certainly, along with my rights being invaded, other people's rights have been invaded all the time also. Because it was always everybody else who was in the shelter or psychiatric unit or wherever else is that there are cameras, who is getting videotaped, you know, because we all use the same facilities. So it's just like, just tons, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of just horrifying privacy violations, and I'm still being treated like it's my fault. It's not my fault. You know, this is not my crime. There's that. And there's also, here's a question for you, you know, all the people who are causing this to happen, who find it so amusing, is that the sort of conversation that you want to be just kind of general conversation 10 years from now, when that kid is in his 20s and all his friends are in their 20s? I mean, is this how you want the world to be? Because this is what you're turning the world into. It's not going to stay the way it was when you were growing up, where now you're finding it to be like, oh, so very interesting, or somehow you find it freeing to oppress other people, right? Everyone is going to have to live like this, right? Except for people who are rich enough to create their own environment around them all the time, right? And that's exactly the way it's not supposed to be according to democracy. That is exactly the type of issue, you know, although it could not have been imagined, you know, by people a few hundred years ago, before photography and that kind of thing, could not have been imagined that it would be this type of distortions of people's basic human rights. But it is the sort of thing that democracy is supposed to prevent. Democracy is supposed to prevent a reality in which the only people who have decent lives are rich people. That's what democracy is supposed to prevent. You know, and if technology outpaces democracy's abilities, then you have to expand democracy's abilities, you know, to meet the situation. That's what it means. That's what it means to deal with the world in an adult and mature way. You meet the situation. You know, that is your only ethical choice.